What is up, my friends? Welcome back to another video and welcome to part 6, I believe it's part 6, of this Disney Medley breakdown series. And today we are taking a look at the percussion section of the arrangement. Really exciting stuff. I think the percussion is something that a lot of people are maybe a bit unsure about. So I want to walk you through how I like to orchestrate percussion, mix in the drum kit to bring into the orchestral elements, and then maybe some hybrid elements I brought in here as well. But before we really dive in though, I want to give you that orchestration essentials guide in case you don't have it yet. It's basically a 5-step process that I take to go from initial idea of the arrangement to a completed orchestration. It's very systematic, it's very digestible, easy to follow, so I want to give that to you absolutely free. Just click the link below, it'll take you straight there, and it's my thank you to you for checking out this video today. So let's talk about the arrangement. First of all, you see that the actual instrument selection is not too much. And this is because, again, the strings for me are the core element of the arrangement, whereas the woodwinds, brass, and percussion are more supportive, enhancing textures for the rest of the arrangement. So in terms of instruments, I have the timpani, bass drum, snare drum. Those are very, very typical for me. And then cymbals, glockenspiel, tubular bells. And then sometimes I'll bring in the drum kit. Sometimes I'll bring in the shakers, the celeste, the claps and the snaps, maybe for more rhythmic elements, and then the heavy drums for very specific case use as well. But you'll notice that the general selection here is more on the traditional side of things in terms of the percussion, rather than a lot of sound design and like heavy hitting electronic drums, because this type of context only calls for that sort of thing. So you might be wondering, well, okay, how do you use those instruments specifically? Just a little quick overview. The timpani I use for rolling into the next section. So rolling into a crescendo, for example, and then emphasizing a specific harmonic hit with that bass note with a single hit. So I do that a lot. Bass drums I typically use to accentuate specific accents that I really want brought out. Snare drum, very rhythmic patterns usually, that type of thing. Drum kit here gives a slightly more poppy modern feel. So when we get to the Something's Never Changed, we'll kind of talk about that. Cymbals, you see here a lot of stair stepping, and that's basically the cymbal roll into the crash. And that's the idea there. Glockenspiel, very light and fun texture, very Disney-like, and that gives me a very light sound. Tubular bells are basically that church sound, right? So it's all a matter of taste how you incorporate those, but we'll kind of go over that too. Shakers kind of going with a snare drum for that high end, giving that bit of clack. Celeste I'm using a little bit later on. Heavy drums here I'm using for Let It Go, and then the second section, just to give the emphasis a little bit more to the percussion. And then the claps and snaps are again kind of increasing the energy and giving it the high end on the offbeats. So let's kind of go through a little bit. Super standard. Just the timpani there. Comes the cymbals, cymbal roll. Roll into the crash, glockenspiel response. Comes the timpani, going into the next section, cymbals. So timpani and the bass drum I'm kind of using in combination together. Let's go over here to the Let It Go section actually. Now, some of it sounds off time to you. It's because I played this in by hand without using the click at all, because none of this is using the click up until for the first time in forever. But hey, in isolation, it might sound weird, but in context, it actually sounds fine. But yeah, you hear that here. I'm just doing the regular. Right, so a lot of those heavy bass drum ensemble hits, but then we get the clack of the snare and the rims on the top. So that's really important. Cymbals, of course. Timpani gives it the actual tonal foundation emphasis. And at the end of the section, timpani, and to the next section. So now we have the snare. Here are the shakers in the top right. Right, tubular bells there. Second half, bring in some snaps. Right there. Relax on the percussion a bit, give them a break. Now, bring it back in. Here comes the next section. So you hear the drum kit in there mix as well. And it's a very like mix ready drum kit. So I don't think I did much processing to it at all, if any. But that layered with the heavy drums really just brings it out more. Right, and there, no percussion for the next section except a little bit of glockenspiel. And then the rest of this, essentially you can see is just some cymbal rolls, you know, glockenspiel, Celeste. Here, let's have to listen to the end here. There's that Little Mermaid little thing I wanted to tease in there. And that's it. Yeah, so a quick recap, you know, timpani, great for those moments where you want to crescendo into a new section and really emphasize the downbeat, but also give it that tonal center. Timpani is great for, bass drum is great for accentuating those big accents that you want. Be careful not to overuse the bass drum in this context though. Snare drum, you know, shakers, very good for those like rhythmic elements that provide the mid and the high ends, and then the other elements are more decorative for me. So those are more, you know, you can swap them out however you want to. But generally, this is my approach to percussion. So timpani, bass drum, snare drum sometimes, you know, tubular bells, glockenspiel, cymbals. Like these are all pretty core elements of my romantic style template anyway. And hopefully that gives you, you know, a bit of a sense of how I like to arrange. But yeah, let me know if you have any additional questions about that. Super simple, as you can see, using them to enhance certain colors rather than overpowering the arrangement and using them as a leading role. You certainly could, but this type of music tends to be more melodic, and so therefore that melodic stuff is tend to be put into more melodic instruments rather than the percussion. So hence the decision making there. But yeah, again, if you want to take a look at my standard like setup when it comes to orchestrating something from start to finish, then I want to give you that Orchestration Essentials guide. If you don't have it already, totally free. Just click the link below. It'll take you straight there, and it's very systematic. It goes step by step, and if you follow that, it'll give you a very good idea of how to approach every single mock-up in the future. So hopefully that helps. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.